Well, hello everybody and welcome to Lunchbreak Live. Real talk about obesity, food addiction, recovery, and what's really eating you. On today's show, WLS is the easy way out. For my newer viewers, I am Cari Cruz, 2007 bariatric post-op, living in recovery from obesity and compulsive overeating as twice the woman in half the body. So that's me. What about you? Welcome in, everybody. How are you guys doing? I'm so glad that you are here. Remember, this is an interactive program, so I want to know that you're there and I want to know how you feel. So let me put my glasses on as we get started. Ooh, I see my mama out there. Who else do I see joining the show? Jill and Diana, Nancy, Christy. All right, welcome. Melissa, you're making it all in. All right, listen, before we get started, here's what I want to say. This show is all about interaction and feedback. So I want you guys to become very comfortable and very familiar with all the little symbols down there, okay? I know you guys know the thumbs up. I know you know the happy face. Do you know the wow face? I mean, I don't know how often you guys use that one. Do you know the wow face? Shoot me. Oh, thank you. Shoot me a wow face so I know that your buttons are working and I know that you are engaged. All right, let me see the wow. Okay, all right, I'm seeing wows. I love it. Okay, so do not be afraid to use the wow face. Very good. Or throughout the show, especially on today's program, you might be throwing the mad face, and that is absolutely okay with me. It lets me know that you guys are thinking, that you're there, that you're feeling. It's all good. So, all right. Hey, Jessica, welcome, and happy Monday to all of you. All right. Well, I think this is going to be a real firecracker of a show today. What do you guys think? Oh, there's a mad face. I see it coming right on. All right. So throughout the show, whatever you guys are thinking about, don't be afraid to use those buttons because that lets everybody know that you're there and that people are watching, all right? It really matters to me. All right, so speaking of that angry face, definitely, I am betting that you guys are going to want to use it, especially since the show is called WLS is the easy way out. But come on, I am not the only one to ever say that. As a matter of fact, I'm not the first one. I won't be the last one. There are about 1 million people who say it out there. A lot of them don't have, much to say about anything, so they're just going to chime in pretty much to whatever they hear that sounds good, right? They're just going to jump on the bandwagon. They don't really know, right? Okay, before I say anything else, though, I don't want you guys to know what I'm thinking about this, all right? Weight loss surgery is what WLS stands for, okay? WLS equals weight loss surgery. And not all of my shows revolve around that. So if you haven't had weight loss surgery or don't even know anyone who has, just hang on a little bit because we're going to be talking about some other stuff as well, part of the weight loss journey, all right? So here's what I want to know. Do you think WLS is the easy way out or not? Just give me a Y or an N. Yes, I think it's the easy way out. No, I don't think it's the easy way out. I want to see what you guys are thinking. I rule. Thanks, Jill. Thanks, Jill. I rule, Jewel. That's Hannah's friend. Jill. All right. So let me see I see some mad faces. Right on. Okay. No. Nancy says no. I do not think it's the easy way out. No, Jill says. Absolutely not. Anna. No. All right. Lots of N's. Lots of N's. Anna Gutierrez. I have 2 Annas. And Melissa. All right. Lots of N's. No. All right. Very good. All right. So here is my question. What is wrong with doing something the easy way? If there is an easier way to do something, shouldn't you do it? I don't know. Maybe I'm making a good point. I'm not saying you shouldn't have to work for something. That is not what I'm saying. But you know what they say, work smarter, not harder, right? So first of all, I want to encourage you, if you're fired up and emotional about this stuff, because this is a very emotional subject, I'm going to ask you to set aside your emotional part and pretend that you do not have a strong opinion on this. Can you do that with me? Let me know. Hey, Janine, glad you're here. All right. Set aside the strong emotional opinions about this. Oh, thank you so much. And hear me out as I talk about this from both sides. All right. Not necessarily you don't think you can set aside your strong opinions and emotions, Melissa? All right, try it. All right, I'm going to look at this from 2 sides on the show for the next few minutes, all right? There's one, the side of the person that is having weight loss surgery or who has had it, okay? And then 2 is going to be the other side of that, which is the person who is not having WLS. So let's start with the person having the surgery, like me, someone who has already had it, and many of you guys, all right? When I weighed 320 pounds, I was miserable. No contest, miserable. I felt bad about myself. I did not have any hope that my circumstances were ever going to change, all right? I had a lot of experience being obese, even though I couldn't call it obesity because I was too ashamed of the word, all right? So I guess I thought saying I was fat was better because it more accurately fit my definition of my condition, or more accurately, that was how I felt about myself. I was a fat loser who couldn't lose the fat. That's how I felt about myself. Back then, I did not understand that obesity was a disease. I just knew that it was something I was really, really embarrassed about and could not hide, right? Everybody on the planet could see it on me. They thought that it was all about the food. They had no idea what was going on in here or in here. They had no idea. And you know what? For that matter, neither did I. The whole world was judging me. At least that's how I felt about it. I could just totally feel them saying, why doesn't she do something about her weight? Well, look at what she's eating. That explains a lot. Can you believe what she's buying in her shopping cart? Please. No wonder she's so fat. Time to step away from the fries and hit the gym. Okay, that's how I felt about it. That's what I was pretty sure people were saying about me behind my back every time I stepped by. Okay, so I would see commercials for diet programs all the time, as I'm sure a lot of you guys did. It's easy to lose weight, they'd say. Of course, they're not going to get up there and say it's hard to lose weight, are they? They're going to say it's easy. Look, this was me before, but just look at me now. I ate 2 sensible meals a day, drank a shake at night, and I never felt hungry at all. It was so easy. Anybody ever see that commercial? I don't even have to tell you what it was for. You've seen it, you know. Exactly, right? So we are hearing this is easy. Well, if you're like me, you want something that's easy because you know how hard it is doing what you're doing, okay? So, easy, I am in. I will try anything once. And so I did, and I was starving. So my sensible meals very quickly became unsensible meals, and then the shake was typically followed by an unsensible snack, and any weight I lost came right back. They lied. This was not easy at all. I was not happy about it. But I hoped it would be. Of course I hoped it would be easy. Duh, that's why I signed up. Okay, maybe I just need a program where they supply the food for me. That's like foolproof, right? Nutrisystem, Jenny Craig, you know, easy. Totally easy. Okay, until it got hard and I didn't want to eat the food anymore. Yeah, okay. Darn it. They made it sound so easy, and they said I would never get bored and I would love the taste of absolutely everything, but that wasn't true. All right, maybe I just need a program where like the food is like points. Okay, it's not really food at all, it's just points. And let's see, I get a certain number of points every day and I can just eat up to those points, right? Totally. Oh my gosh, that sounds easy enough. And it was, till it wasn't, because I stopped counting the points and just kept eating, you know, what sounded good. You ever do those programs, you guys? Anybody? Any of those sound familiar to you? The kind that you buy the food, the kind where you count the points, right? The kind where you drink a sensible shake. Anybody? Did you like them? I don't know, shoot me a happy face or a sad face. Did you like the programs? I see some thumbs up. Yeah. All right, thumbs up. So did you like the programs? And so, I don't know, are you saying you like, oh, no. I'm seeing mad faces. Okay, did not like the program. All right, okay, you know what? Maybe it's not about the food at all. Here's what I'm thinking. Oh, I'm seeing like a mixture of responses. This is really great. Maybe I need to exercise. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. That gazelle. That looks easy and fun. Look at him go. You know what? And those people totally not even sweating. They're just swinging their legs back and forth. You know what? That is what I need. That is the easy way to exercise because it's fun. Okay, it would have worked if I could fit on it, but I could not get my fat hips in between the bars so they wouldn't swing. There was just way too much friction. Okay, so yeah. That machine became a place to hold my clothing. Not as easy as they said it would be. Shake weight. I will just shake the fat off. Okay. Ab roller. Yes, I will finally get rock tight abs and it will not be hard at all. Anything called an ab roller cannot be hard. Total gym. Christy Brinkley, she's totally smiling all the time and look how great she looks. That, you know what? Bowflex. That doesn't even look like a normal workout machine because I hate the way normal workout machines look. It's Bowflex. I mean, it's got like, wires and it looks fun. I love that. Easy. Have you guys ever done any of those exercise machines? Did you ever buy them online and have them shipped to your home? Yeah, give me some whys or ands. Just give me whys. Come on, we know we did. Come on, yes. And Zumba and belly dancing, yeah, I know. And bike riding. You had a gazelle. I know, I did too until I saw it. Yep, we've all done it. Why? Why did we do those machines? Because we thought it would be the easy way to get in shape. We didn't buy it because it looked hard. Come on, P90X, that looks hard. We did not want to do that. We wanted things that looked easy, right? Okay, all right. Maybe, I got it. Okay, so the food is a problem. The working out is a problem. You know what? It's a lot harder in person. I'm thinking the problem is I'm just always hungry and like I don't feel like doing stuff because I don't have energy. So I need pills. Pills. Simple. You see it on the commercials. I mean, did you see how awesome that woman, they say it right there. You don't have to do a thing. You don't have to change the way you eat and you don't have to exercise. You just take the pills and you're going to go from the person on the left to the person on the right. Absolutely. You know what? That looks easy. Just take a pill. Nothing easier than that. Well, none of those things worked. And there I am, I'm weighing 320 pounds. None of those things is as easy as everyone said they were supposed to be. They're a lot harder in person. So then I start seeing commercials for WLS, weight loss surgery. Of course, oh my gosh, weight loss surgery, that is totally it, okay? So, I mean, look how much weight all of those people have lost. I'm gonna just have the surgery and I can eat less of all the things that I love. Make my stomach smaller so that I can just eat less. Easy, right? Easy. I chose WLS because I wanted to lose weight. And it looked like the easiest way to do it at this point because I tried everything else that was supposed to be easy and it wasn't. So this one looked pretty easy because surgery is pretty permanent. It has to be good. It has to work because surgery, you don't just do surgery if it doesn't work. It will be my way out. I will be saved. All right, now let's look at the other side, shall we? The person who is not having surgery. Okay, first of all, maybe that's the person who would benefit from it, but maybe they can't have it. Maybe insurance doesn't cover it. They can't get a referral, whatever it is. Okay, so you've got the people that would benefit from it, but can't have it or don't want to have it. How do they see when they feel, how do they feel when they see you having it? Do you think they're happy for you if they're suffering? Let's be honest, okay? Most of those people, very, very few and far between, are going to be happy for you. Most of them are not happy because they feel like it's not fair. Why do you get to do that and they don't? They need it. They can't get it. It's totally not fair, right? So you've got that. Why are you getting help? You're getting out of your problem, but they're stuck. You're taking the easy way out. So to those people who want WLS, could benefit from it, but can't have it, you're taking the easy way out because they can't have it. All right? It's not fair. Why should you get it? How about the person who's like 25 or 30 pounds overweight? They go to Weight Watchers and they have to follow the program to the letter every single day. You know what I'm talking about. They got to log everything, count their steps, go to meetings, eat the food, drink their water. And this week, when they went in and got on the scale, so they did absolutely everything to the letter perfectly, and they lost 2 pounds. 2. You, meanwhile, had weight loss surgery, and you know what? You might have not gotten everything right. You might have, eaten a little too much. You had some carbs. You kind of, it wasn't perfect. You lost 20 pounds. That looks pretty easy to the person who is following every single rule at Weight Watchers and only lost 2 to your 20. Looks pretty easy, don't you think? Right? Because they're looking at the way you're doing it. Maybe you didn't work out. And I'm talking about, this is in the honeymoon, right? First year, year and a half after surgery. You don't have to get it right, and you're still going to lose weight, large amounts of weight, and that's not fair. So to them, it looks easy. Never mind the fact that your medical circumstances are completely different. See, you're dealing with morbid obesity, which is a disease. It's not just a condition where they can see it on you and you're fat. Okay? They're not dealing with morbid obesity. They don't have the disease of obesity. So they're not even the same circumstances yet. Because you're talking about losing weight and they're talking about losing weight, they think you're on the same page, and it's not fair. It's easy. But here's what I want to know. Again, I ask you, why would you take the hard way out? And what exactly does out look like? What are you getting out of? Your fat pants? That's the only thing I could see getting out of. Yeah, that's the only thing I could see getting out of. Because the point is, to them, your new life is easy. Because you can make mistakes during the honeymoon and still lose weight, while they may get absolutely everything right and not lose a pound. So again, to them, it's not fair. It looks easy. But didn't you want it to be easy? Remember that. Why would you do something the hard way? Of course you wanted it to be easy. You didn't want it to be hard. One more person I'm going to talk about hasn't had surgery because they aren't obese. They don't need surgery. They don't have a problem with food. They don't get it. They're like, you know what? To them, you've had surgery and they see you eating differently. And they're like, well, why the hell did you have to have surgery? Why didn't you just eat differently and not even have the surgery? Right? How often did you hear that? How often did you think that? Just change the way you're eating and don't have the surgery. Well, maybe because they don't understand the fact that weight loss surgery has biological aspects that people don't always understand. It's changing your hormones. It's changing your metabolism. And with like RNY or VSG specifically, okay, everything changes, which is really, really good. I mean, that's a good thing. That is totally helpful to losing a lot of weight. Do you have to do anything? If you have had RNY or VSG, do you have to do anything in order for your metabolism to change besides have the surgery? No. That is the benefit of having the surgery. You do nothing and your metabolism will change, specifically if you've had RNY. Let's talk about that, all right? That's why so many people are cured or are in remission from diabetes while they're on the operating table. They haven't changed their eating, have they? That is the benefit of the surgery. That's why you have it, to make it easier to lose weight. And actually, maybe that's the problem, because everyone is looking at this as weight loss surgery. Just about everybody you know has a few pounds to lose, but not everyone is morbidly obese. See, morbid obesity, that's hard. If you want to talk about easy and hard work. It's really, really hard, whether people understand it or not. So of course I wanted out. Oh, heck yeah. I wanted to be cured. I wanted to lose weight, never have to worry about gaining it back. Oh, I wanted to be free from my fat forever. I never wanted to worry about this again. And the hard part of this surgery is way, way more than the physical part of any surgery. Look, any surgery has its complications, its risks, its recovery period, but everybody knows that. If anybody has ever had any sort of surgery, even tonsillitis, tonsillectomy or an appendectomy or whatever, okay, yeah, I get it. But still, right? They can justify that, they can rationalize that and say, yeah, but it's just not that hard. We all have had surgery, we've all recovered. I had a tooth out, big deal, all right? It was hard, but then it wasn't, and the tooth was gone, all right? So to me, really, the surgery was the easy part. It's all the stuff that happened after the after. Now we're talking about the hard part. The day I realized that there is no cure for my disease, not this surgery and not anything. The day I realized that, I don't know, this is after the honeymoon, I'm just like everybody else working to manage a healthy weight. I don't have an advantage over anybody. Not really. If anything, maybe I have to work a little bit harder because my body is not going to process the same food the same way as someone who might not have had the morbid obesity, the conditions, the ravages to my body. So here's what I want to know. How did I really lose weight? The same way everyone else does. We want to say it was the surgery. Okay, that was a great tool and that was beneficial and that was critical to my journey. But guess what? I watched my portions. I cut out the crap carbs, drank my water, exercised regularly, watched the fats and sugars, and still do, even 10 years later. So I'm no different than anybody else. I am doing it the hard way. The only difference is how I jump-started and aided in the treatment of my morbid obesity because I had more than 100 pounds to lose. So is that easy? It's a lot easier than untreated obesity. Yeah. So is WLS the easy way out? Why not? Doesn't matter to me. Does it help me to keep my weight off? Yeah, absolutely it does. Does it do the work for me? No, that's the hard part. It does not do the work for me. But you see, we perceive that it does when we first have it. We're telling everybody, we're telegraphing that to everybody, that the surgery really works for me. The surgery is doing it for me. And that is, again, why people think it's easy, because you're saying the surgery is doing it for you. Is it helping doing the heavy lifting? You bet, right? I could try to lift a ton of bricks by myself, or I could use a crane to help me lift it. Of course I'm going to use the crane. I'm still lifting a ton of bricks, but I'm using the crane. The surgery is the crane, all right? I wanted it to be easy. Of course I did. What I set out to do something because I knew it was going to be hard. I was disappointed when I learned it really wasn't. See, I don't think I'm alone here. When it really comes down to it, if we're really, really being honest, I have a feeling that is why a lot of post-ops really get worked up when uninformed people say it's easy, right? They get all worked up. I'm going to get angry. I'm going to argue with you. Why? To them, it looks easy. To us, it looked easy. And the reality was much, much different. We hoped it would be easy, and it wasn't. See, that's really the reality, I think. So as I wrap up the show, here is what I want to know. I want you to think about this, right? No matter what your reasons for choosing to treat your obesity through bariatric surgery, you hope it will work, and you hope it's not going to be too hard, because you know how hard losing weight really is. Other people do not have to understand your decision. They just don't. And you're not going to change their mind. Some people can't or never will care why you did it, and they're just going to have their opinion, and that's it. The important thing is for you to understand. There is no easy way out, because there's no way out of this disease. There's treatment. Thank God there is treatment. And maybe the treatment is to treat. Maybe it's a treat in the beginning, all right? But eventually, let me tell you, the rubber is going to meet the road, and you're going to realize that this treatment requires effort. Easy, hard, or otherwise. I think we can make it a lot harder than it has to be. I'll tell you that right now. We can make it a lot harder on ourselves when we do things like adding alcohol to the mix. When can I drink again? I'm going to start drinking because it's not a problem. I'm just going to have a little, and all of a sudden it's a little more and a little more, and you're drinking more than you thought you would, even though you never really liked it. Or, you open the door and you reintroduce all the things that you said you'd never eat again. The cake and the ice cream and the junk carbs. Because you said, I'm never going to want to eat those again. I don't even want them. They don't even sound good to me. And all of a sudden they do sound good, and they're right back in. We make it harder than it has to be. So if weight loss surgery, bariatric surgery, was supposed to make it easy, the minute we stop following the rules of the surgery, that's when it gets real, real hard, doesn't it? All right. What do you guys think about what I said? That's kind of where I'm going to leave you here. What do you think about what I said? Have you ever considered the other side of the argument as I presented it to you, the person that hasn't had weight loss surgery? What do you think? Right? Have you considered your side of the argument, the reality of it, that you wanted it to be easy and you found that it wasn't? Yeah, maybe so. Do you feel any differently about it now that I talked about it? Or are you still clinging to the decision that you had and you're like, I'm not interested in any other perspectives. This is how I feel. Leave your comments below. It looks like you guys are leaving it. I'm really happy about that. Yeah, even if you guys are watching on demand, this is the thing we may not know, that even though you guys are fortunate enough to join me live, and I'm really grateful that you're here, Even if you're watching this on demand, you can leave the comments, you can respond, you can throw the hearts and the happy faces, the mad faces, and the wow faces. You can even do that when you're watching after the fact. I may not be seeing it floating by right now, but on the review, I will. So really, leave your comments right here because that lets people know that this is a show worth watching, all right? So let me just scroll up really, really quickly. Scrolling up. I want to see what you guys have to say very quickly, and I'm going to let you go because I do not want to draw this out. So happy that you guys are talking. Yep, Thigh Master, Suzanne Summers. Yes, I did have one of those. That was hard. Let's see. You had to lose. Jerry says, I had to lose weight to ride my bike. Absolutely, I get it. There were just some things that we simply could not do because we were just too big to do them. And an elliptical and. Thank God the elliptical does work for me, but in the beginning it didn't. My knees were killing me. It was supposed to be easy on your knees, right? All I could feel, I was like one big painful knee. It was horrible. P90X, I couldn't even do the first session. Yeah, I know. Not easy, right? But we knew that going in. That didn't even look easy. They weren't even trying to make it look easy. They were like, this is hard. This is really hard. And if you can do it, you rock. And I'm like, okay, so I don't rock. And I'm not going to be rock hard when I'm done either. Diuretic, a ginkgo, whatever you call it. Yep, let's throw the pills in there because nothing else seems to be working. So I need something to change my attitude, right? Honestly, I think they're crazy. Yeah, well, you know what? I think we're all a little bit crazy because this disease of obesity is crazy making. It's crazy making because we think something should work. I should keep doing the thing that works. Why all of a sudden did I stop doing the thing that was working? Why did I decide that as soon as I got into maintenance, I could just go back to what I was doing before I got on maintenance? What made me think that? No rational person would think that. You're right. This is crazy making. Donna, you're not late, and you can always go back and rewatch what you missed. Cleo, I'm so glad you made it. And Susan, let's see, kind of hate people. Okay, this is Anna. Yeah, their comparison about their 15 pounds versus my 150. Exactly. It's ignorance. Ignorance. They don't understand that the disease of obesity is different, morbid obesity, okay, than just being obese, overweight, really. Overweight is different than obese, and they don't understand that because it's never presented as a disease. It's never discussed as a disease. It's discussed as a character flaw, a defect, as being lazy. And you're more lazy than me if you have more weight to lose. That's what people conclude, right? Let's see here. Yeah, screw them, Aaron says. I have no idea what you're saying screw them to. I'll have to go back and watch it in real time and figure it out. But I'm sure they deserved it, whatever that was all about. Yes, it is metabolic surgery, Diana. Absolutely. That's why it's called the American Society for Metabolic and Bariatric Surgery, because they realized, and the metabolic is before bariatric, by the way, because they did realize the metabolic benefits of this surgery. Tricia says, I just talked to someone at lunch about slowing metabolism and metabolic issues. You know, for me, I decided not to focus on any of that because I wasn't diabetic. So that really was not the same factor that it would be for people that are dealing with type 2 diabetes. And for me, I viewed that as a crutch. You know, before I would say my metabolism is broken. That's what it is. It's a broken metabolism. Well, that didn't get me anywhere. Now all of a sudden, what? My metabolism is just miraculously fixed? No. I need to work my metabolism, get it on fire and get it working and wake it up, you know. And if I focus on that, that's not one of the things I focus on there. That is one of the things that a lot of people do focus on because they want to use that as a part of their recovery, as a tool for their recovery, and it works for them. For me, that's like above my pay grade. I don't want to do it, but also because I used to go there and live there and decide that was the reason for my failure. So in other words, I could look at this and say, oh, well, if I'm not losing weight, it still must be a metabolism issue and it's just not working well enough for me. See, that's where I go. That's where my brain takes it. Not a healthy place. Okay, let's see. Tired of hearing, but you aren't that big. You don't need surgery. Hey, when I got out of surgery, the night nurse came in first night after surgery and said, you weren't that big. I don't understand why you had this surgery. What does she know and what business does she have telling me? At that point, I was very fragile and it really, really wounded me and hurt my feelings. But the bottom line is they're not living in my body. I'm not living in your body. I'm not walking in your shoes. Okay. And you're working with your doctor, and a doctor has determined that this is not cosmetic surgery. This is life-saving surgery. And they have decided with you, your medical team, that this is something you need to treat your disease. And I think you change the conversation when you start talking about the fact that you chose surgery to treat your disease of obesity. You stop talking about weight altogether and you talk about that you are now treating the disease of obesity, and you're thankful that you and your doctor were able to come up with a program that would work for you. That's what I would say. Get rid of the weight. Stop talking about it. All right. Hi, Lori. Glad you're here. All right. And I'm going to go back because it's starting to get longer, and I love that you guys are having this conversation. And I'm going to go back and read all of those things. I promise I will comment offline. But I'm really thankful that you guys were here. I appreciate you being responsive. That lets other people know that this is a show worth watching. So thank you for joining me today. I am going to sign off before it goes any further and remind you all to not only share this program, but to have courage, seek peace, embrace joy, and above all, live your recovery. Remember, you can't stop feeding what's eating you if you don't know what's eating you. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Bye.